Today, we are presenting to you a video case study of our gender, urban agriculture and food system training.
It features the training methods, processes and topics.
How the farmers are applying their training knowledge and skills in their urban agriculture and food system activities.
And the changes this is making in their farming practices and communities in terms of employment creation, income generation, improved food security and nutrition, and environmental conservation.
The urban agriculture and food system training, and now with the introduction of the Women's Spaces project through a gendered perspective, it's called Gender, Urban Agriculture and Food System Training. The training started in 2003 as an initiative of Mazingira Institute to train young people, women and men on urban agriculture as an activity of the food system so that they can make income from farming and also get food and nutrition security for their household and also for their community through selling to them.
The training is based on a specific criteria. First, we look at the age of the applicants. We prefer young farmers from the age of 18 to 40 years. From the shortlisted selected candidates, we conduct interviews. We do two kinds of interviews. We have the phone interviews and the physical interviews. We basically conduct interviews to ascertain that the farmers are actually doing some type of farming, and secondly that our training will fit their needs, and also to familiarize on what they're expecting to learn when they come to the training.
The training in gender, urban agriculture and the food system is very critical because it seeks to empower women who I think for a very long time have not had opportunities, similar opportunities to men, and particularly in urban agriculture, for instance.
The Women's Spaces project is a five-year initiative from Rooftops Canada. The project is supported by the government of Canada. However, it's implemented in 4 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. It's implemented in Angola, Kenya, Uganda, and South Africa. Now, in these countries, we have key partners that are experts in land and housing rights, and that's why the partners are definitely the ones who are driving the project. Now, the project focuses on enhancing the implementation of women's rights to land, housing, and livelihood in sub-Saharan Africa, especially in the urban and peri-urban areas in these countries. One of the things that we want to see is how that trickles down to women and young people. Now, Mazingira Institute, they are known for providing, capacity building training sessions for young farmers, for female farmers, and that's one of the things that we're strengthening on this project. We're not only doing that, but we're also doing it through the lens of working with the local government. Now, NCC, which is the Nairobi City County, is a key partner on the project in Kenya. And the reason why they're a part of the project is to ensure that all of these, changes we're trying to make are enshrined at the government level.
My name is Mase Wanjahi. I work in Nairobi County Government in the Gender and Inclusivity subsector. My role there as a Deputy Director, acting though, is to ensure that programs are gender mainstreamed. Gender actually is characteristics of men, women, girls, boys, and usually it's what the society expects of the roles. We see that there is a lot of inequalities. We discover that, for instance, in Nairobi, very many women are involved in agriculture, and they have to be taken care of in terms of what their needs are. When we talk about gender, we are looking at what are the needs of each person. We need to also consider what do we put in place to ensure that the woman's needs are taken care of as they partake farming.
Situation yenye niko, watu wakufurahia nikilisha nguruwe. Waliona sifai kuwa nikilisha nguruwe juu ya condition yenye niko. Alafu nguruwe lazima uzikeep vizuri na uziweke kwa mazingira safi. Sasa watu walikuwa wananiona ni kama sifikiri juu saa naingia nafanya kazi ya wanaume. Most of people wanajua nguruwe zinalishwa na wanaume. Lakini pangu mimi nilijiamini na nikaona hii kazi ya wanaume, what man can do, a woman can do better.
Nilikuwa na negative things about the farm before. Like sana watu kwa nasemanga wasichana hawezi wakafanya mambo ya farming. But we learned something from mazingira, tukaenda tukaonyesha pia wale wazazi wetu na pia wasichana wetu wanaweza wakafanya kama biashara, sababu walikuwa wanaona si mzuri kwao kufanya biashara ya ukulima, but tuliwahimiza.
Hapa kwenye tunaishi sasa mimi naonekana mdogo. Sasa watu wako zile like, sasa wewe msichana mdogo nini inakusumbua kwa ukulima? Si ukae kwa nyumba. Sasa vile nilianza kupanda hizi sukuma, mzo wangu alikuwa zile za like, hii nini sasa unafanya? Like akaona tu namchafulia mazingira by the way. Akasema hizi vitu sitaki kuziona. Lakini vile alienda kazi akarudi, akapata mboga zinakuwa vizuri, atununui mboga. Sasa akaanza kunimotivate pia yeye.
Urban agriculture technologies, they are practices that we normally use that make it possible for people living in the urban areas and the peri-urban areas to produce their own food to aid in the issue of food security. Why the urban technologies? Normally, farmers have been doing farming in open fields using the normal methods of farming where they would grow crops because they had extensive pieces of land. But in the urban and the peri-urban areas, land as a resource is very scarce. We have different setups where you find most of the grounds which are available for farming, people have changed them even to construction of rental houses and business premises. So the spaces that we have are very minimal. So because of the shortage of land, we are practicing technologies that can utilize those small spaces that those people in the urban and the peri-urban areas are, so that we remove from their minds the issue that we don't have land, so we can't do agriculture. But we are telling them, yes, we don't have extensive land, but we have pieces of land where we can use technologies to produce food. So when we talk of technologies, there are those practices that will help us still produce food when we have scarcity of land, when we have scarcity of water, because we know even in the setting in the urban areas, water is very expensive. Therefore, you want to make good use of the available water, that you'll also earn something from that water, so that the farmer can be able to apply that water in form of irrigation water and get something which she or he can use even to pay the water bills. So because of the scarcity of land and also scarcity of farming water, we are training our farmers how to use this water well and how to use these small spaces of land to ensure they are able to produce food for themselves, especially vegetables and fruits.
And make a pattern. You can have spinach, yeah, you can have kales, you can have kude, you can have onions, so that it looks beautiful and appealing to the eyes. You can even do this outside your compound. Yes. It's a very beautiful practice.
The urban methods, mostly the advantage they offer is the space. The space needed for an urban garden is a bit smaller, and since we're in the slums, space is the biggest problem for the dwellers here. After the training and the program in the society, we train people on how to do urban farming. So so far we have trained two groups on the urban farming methods, and they have implemented them. One group is called SPEC from Kibra. It's a group of women, women from marginal. They are widows actually. There's widows and single moms. So we taught them urban technologies of farming, and they got a shared space, and so they're farming on that space. The other group is called Tasafi. We also trained them here on urban farming methods, and we went to the group and installed a corn garden. The corn garden, we used old tires like the ones we have over there. The old tires we cut and used for the base. And so the tires and the soil we give them, and since we have seedlings over here, we also provided seedlings to them.
Organic waste management is the management of the decomposable materials. It is important because we have a lot of it from homes, industries, and institutions. There's a lot of it, and that's what fills most of our waste areas.
Organic farming is one very unique thing that means you are eating food that has no chemical at all. It's the best way, though people tend to rush to the synthetic fertilizers. The way we normally do when we want to do organic farming or train on organic farming is to prepare the land, and in most cases we don't till the land. We do zero tillage, multiply compost, either from waste, either from the leftovers of the shamba, the garden, either from manure, and all this. Heap it for some times, comes to compost, then we put it in the farm.
What is being made in the factory, we call it synthetic. Not all of it is able to be used by the plant. So whatever residues remain in the soil and are not used by the plant, eventually make the soils acidic. When soils become acidic, plants cannot grow well in the acidic soils. And then some nutrients that are not utilized by the plants, sometimes they reach high levels that may not be comfortable for the plants to grow. But in organic waste or in a compost, most of it is utilized by the plant, and whatever is there, whatever remains, can still be used by the plants again by doing crop rotation, by growing different crops. It doesn't spoil the soil like the synthetic fertilizers.
At Mazingira, this week I'll be teaching rabbit production and also poultry. In poultry, we are teaching the student on the diseases which are affecting their birds, so that they can get good yield when the birds reach the market size and the market price. So it's every time they are not supposed to go to the agro-vets, to call vets so that they can come to their farms, because when you teach them, they can see some of the signs of the diseases there affecting their birds, and they can get some medicine to address on the issues. Livestock production, like in urban centers, we value it very well, because when these farmers are doing their farming in the urban, we are getting safe food. The farmers are also able to get some cash in their pocket, because in urban centers, mainly the farming is done in the slums. In the slums, there are so many young youths who are not employed. And when they engage themselves in farming, they are able to feed their young families, and they are also able to sell some of the produce to their neighbors and then get some money with them.
Before Mazingira, nilikuwa na breed my hogs, zilikuwa zina interbreed, lakini through Mazingira nikajua hazifai, nafaa kutafuta breed ingine kama Duroc na Lajoit, ndio kuje ilete another breed yenye itakuwa fine na yenye itatoa mazao mzuri bila other things ku happen, kama ku grow fast, ku breed emo. Na pia story ya broiler, nilijua mambo ya magonjwa, sikuwa najua
kuku ikiwa hivi nafaa kupea nini, but through mazingira nikajua nafaa kupea hii dawa, nafaa kuangalia hizo signs.
I introduced my able daughter, Paris Nyaguthie, to Mazingira Institute. I got the information from the Nairobi county government. I've brought up her with the other children in farming. So because she was interested and she went there, and the results are well. Because when she went there, she came with a lot of information that has not been with us about farming. She introduced the multi-story gardens, which was wow, because a very small piece of land, you plant up to 100 seedlings in a square piece of land, which was a milestone.
Juu ya mazingira nilisoma ukulima tu sio ya wanaume ama ya ushago ama ya nini. Pia women ama ladies wanaweza fanya ukulima na upasu na ifanye vizuri. Si lazima wanaume wakuwe wakifanya.
Food processing is one of the methods of participating in the product value chain. And when we do the milk processing, we are adding value to that milk. When we add value to the milk through processing, different stages of processing, we are increasing the shelf life of that milk. When you do the processing, you are able to increase the market demand, what we call product differentiation. That product is differentiated for different segments because milk, you have the raw milk, you have the fresh milk, then we have now those fermented milks. One of those fermented products is yogurt making, and the other fermented product is what is called mara here locally, or buttermilk, we call it buttermilk. The other reason why we increase milk value addition is to increase market participation of a larger segment of the people. And obviously another reason is to increase the taste and the preferences. When you increase the taste and the preferences, it means that you are increasing the market demand for that product.
At Mazingira, I learned a lot. I only choose to participate in one field, which is yogurt making, of which it has helped me to grow, it has helped my household, and I've also empowered some youths in my community. At first, I was only supplying to children in schools. But when business started growing, I went to the institute to ask for them if I can deliver to them yogurt during break time and lunchtime, whereby they gave me a go-ahead permission. They say, yes, you can. For now, I do distribute to Institute for Mass Multimedia in South B, which deals with journalism, anything like that. And then on Sundays, I do sell to children in the church, nearby churches. I have a team of mine whereby we go to distribute to every church, and then maybe I can sell wholesale or retail. It depends. Now, when the business started growing, we needed a place of whereby we ended up looking for a location that is near, that whenever you are distributing, when customer wants, you can come easily and get it and distribute to them. So my team and I got a shop whereby we do sell fresh milk, the fermented one, and the yogurt.
I'm mostly working with the database, the Urban Agriculture and Food Systems database, which was developed by Mazingira as a way to really report on food systems activity in Nairobi County. Database actually has two components. The first component is a mobile application, which is called the Nairobi Farmer. And so this app is geared towards farmers specifically who will create a profile, and the profile will contain information about who they are, things like general information, their age, gender, things like that. And also, they'll have to answer questions about what kind of farming they do, where they practice their farming.
first of all, just the way that Davinder Institute trains people is something that I've learned a ton of. We're going to probably create similar kinds of training for our farmers and similar kinds of opportunities for people to meet and network together. I really think that that has been probably the biggest learning I took from the week.
The interactions were great because there's a lot of mutual interest. I, as someone who has several years of experience as a farmer, was really interested to see how they do, what type of spaces they use, especially in the city, because in Montreal, the types of spaces that are available are different than those here. And what we're allowed to do is a bit different as well. And on the other side, I think they were also interested in that, since I do it in indoor environment, but also educate people on how to do it outdoor. There's been a lot of interest to see how that connection can be made, how we could foster maybe that type of alternative production and see if it can be integrated into smaller spaces.
After the training, and the farmers are fully knowledgeable and have gained skills to continue their farming activities and start other farming activities that they've learned, we basically have a graduation ceremony, which is the Nelsa Forum. It is a full-day activity whereby the Mazingira team, the Nairobi City County, and the Global Affairs Canada come together to present certificates to the farmers, basically to full mark the end of the training.
Our hope is that through the Women's Spaces project, that the training will have such a huge impact to not only help individuals who've gone through the training course itself, but there'll also be a difference within the communities in which they live, because if they're able to grow their own food, that means their neighbors are not going to sleep hungry. That means their children are going to be able to go to school. So the point really generally here is we just want to see lives changed.
My hope for the future is that more women will participate in farming activities. They'll take up roles and start businesses from the knowledge and skills gained during the training.
We are looking at urban agriculture also being more supported in terms of policy and legislative framework, and also through those policies we'll have now the secure access of public urban spaces for food production.